questions y'all were asking, and I want to make sure that we just clear before y'all leave tonight about the questions that y'all have on this or anything else.
I was asking of God host. Yeah. The third ether. Three.
Okay, let's talk about you're asking about ethers, right? Let's just be clear about what we're talking about. Alright? Book 1, the book of the generation, the book of creation, and before. Okay? It talks about the reality of the various types of ether that exist within creation. Come on. Verse 23, and I think y'all went through this earlier, right? Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, in the name of the Sustainer, who is the Creator, the Generous One. As such, O you that are members of humanity, you must come to fully realize and accept that there are 9 kinds of ether, to be exact, and they are in their order of strength. So each of these ethers has what you call strength in terms of the potency of the gas, right? What would give ether its potency? What would give the gas, because this will help us to understand a little better, what would give ether its potency? The amount of the actual elements in that particular ether. So you have the periodic table. You have hydrogen all the way to Einsteinium in the first 99 elements. You have elements past that, but 99 from 1 to 99. And depending on how many of those elements are in the ether would determine how potent it is. The less of the elements in the ether means it's less potent. Okay? So you have the 9-minded melaninite agreeable soul forces of eternal life symbolized by wind, soul, and the salt of the earth. This is why Yahshua said, ye are the salt of the earth. Salt is sodium on the periodic table. It is the 11th element. The 11th guardian angelic host is called Shu. Shu represents wind. Okay, and that's why it says that this also represents the forces of eternal life symbolized by wind or soul. Okay, then you also have, we say this because sodium is represented by the guardian angelic helper Shu. Then you have 8 ether permeated by the simian, unholy, sick spirit forces permeated by those diseased waters of earth. 7 ether permeated by Homo sapien thinking serpents, unholy diseased thinking serpents, earth forces within the depleted and diseased soil. So you have wind, you have earth, in terms of the, so go back to it. So you have wind, you have water, and then you have diseased soil. Then you have impure dissipating 6 ether or 6 sex mentality, unholy spirit forces, which came to earth from the Dracos or the dragon star system. Then you have 5 ether permeated by the beast of the field and the permeating of evil by way of the depleting melanin. People bleaching and stuff today. 4 ether, the 8th man manifested as homogeneous. 3 ether, mammals and animals of the sea, and 2 ether, reptilians, amphibians of the air and sea, and then of course 1 ether are demonic forces. Now, here's what, in the case of humanity, right? You have 3 forms of ether that manifest into flesh and blood, and they are pure living ether, 9-minded soul, impure dissipating ether or sex mentality spirits, and then you have dead ghoul, 3 ether beings, all of which can and does still manifest in your latter day into physical form amongst members of humanity in varying degrees of genetic potency. So what does that simply mean? You have 3 creations. You have primary creation, which is the most potent. This is when the universe had all of the chemicals, formulas, gases, etc. in a more compacted space. For example, if you were to think of what they would call an explosion, ground zero, where the bomb has exploded at, that's the most potent. As the gases move further away from the center, what happens to them? They cool. They get less potent. As they get further away, they get even less potent. So you have primary, secondary, tertiary. We were created as Nubian melaninites during primary creation. Therefore, we have more of these elements inside of us, whereby we produce a more potent form of melanin. Everybody produces melanin, but ours is more potent, which is why we can withstand the rays of the sun better than all other people. You understand? So the reality behind potency is really what you're asking. And the potency, and they know this, because when they want to find cures to diseases, remember, they don't use rats or mice with melanin. They use white mice, albino mice. Don't believe me? Look it up. In the laboratory, they use white mice. Why? Because it mimics their biology.
Right.
When they make drugs, they just put this stuff is out there now. They only about 2% of the actual genetics of black people or Nubian melaninites is considered when making drugs. 2% of our genome, which means they're not making it for us. It has nothing to do with us. You understand? There's a whole book on it. It's called Medical Apartheid. Medical Apartheid. I'll bring it one night. You look at it. You understand? So this is real. You understand? But the problem now is what? These three ether beings, the dead ghoul, are the ones controlling the narrative now. And they're the ones telling us that they're here to save us. They're the ones telling us that they're going to teach us how to eat. They're going to...
Dead ghoul.
Yeah, write it up on the board for us, please. Dead ghoul.
Alright. Let's third either tree or whatever it is, right? Who is the dead ghoul, or what? I mean,
in the King James, they say the beast. Revelation 13 talks about the beast, right? And this beast is a system that is referred to as Leviathan.
Oh.
And Leviathan, if we go to Revelation 13, right? And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast, behemoth, rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns. This beast doesn't have 1 head. The beast has 7 heads. Today, economically, you refer to the most powerful economies on the planet as the G7. 7 heads. Right? From there, it moves out all the way to G20 and